We zoom in on a standalone home which is currently beautifully lit up by sunlight. A ray of sunshine poking through the clouds, where we zoom in on a man reading a newspaper in a chair with the date of June 5th, 1998. There's cars driving by in front of his place, and we find ourselves reading. The newspaper is not that much different from normal newspapers whatsoever. We do get slightly distracted by the cats that run around our legs every now and then. I believe they've already been fed by the wife, but they still beg for food every now and then. And if not, scritches, as one of them tries to weasel their way in between your newspaper and your lap. As you read, and continue doing so for quite a bit of time, as you sit inside of the sunshine that is poking through the window on your newspaper, and you are enjoying the slight heat that comes from it. And then you hear it, the doorbell. It has probably rung for about 3 times now, and you only caught the last one. As you put away your newsletter to the side of you, you stand up, folding the newsletter up, leaving it on the couch with the cats to play with, as one of them jumps on the couch and starts to lay on it. You'll deal with that later. As you start making your way through the living room, down the hall to the front door, where the door bell rings once more, and you slowly open the door. As what greets you is a very familiar face. It's a young lady, you know as the neighbor's child. White grin, beautiful blue eyes that are just staring up at you like they've just seen the prince. But this tiny little lass is looking up at you, holding something in her hand. She goes, "Your newspaper." Which is interesting, because you already have a newspaper, and, you were reading it just a second ago. As you look up that ever-bright smile, those white pearly teeth that are just shining in, the frown forms on your face because you already have a newspaper. As the smile dims a little as she reads your expression, but you don't let that bother you as you take the newspaper, check it for a second, and then something jumps out at you. The date on that newspaper. It's June 6th, 1998. Which is interesting, because you knew you were reading the newspaper of today. Right? It is June 5th, 1998. As you pull out your pocket watch, check the date, check the time. It seems to be correct. It's June 5th, 1998, so why is that newspaper one day early? At this point, the neighbor's child has left. She walked away, so you're slowly closing the door with a frown, as you go back to your living room, where you don't bother moving the cat off the newspaper. Why would you? You have a new one to read. And this one's a bit weird, as you unfurl it and read the first headline, which just states, "The sun dies." Which is interesting. And this newspaper is already of the date of tomorrow, so what's going on here? As you start reading, as you read an article that just states, it's as if it just blinked out of existence. And that sunshine that's poking through the window, prickling your skin, is certainly very alluring. As you just start staring up at it through the window, the clouds have moved away a little bit. It's a perfectly blue sky with a wisp of cloud every now and then, but your eyes are drawn to that massive ball of fire. As you start looking at it properly, and it should be hurting your eyes, but you just keep staring at it. Because for some reason, you've got this feeling in your underbelly. Just this burbling. You're not hungry, that's not the feeling you're feeling, it's... Oh dear. You stare at it, and it's not hurting your eyes, it's not doing anything, because it's gone. As while you were staring at the sun, it just blinked out of existence. As for but a second you have light, and then it disappears. You are trapped in utter darkness. Not for long though, as you hear a car crash into a side building on your neighbor's property. A fire erupts, a fire which gives light. As you stare at that, and that too disappears, as all your side starts disappearing, the sounds of the car alarm ringing, the cats mowing, the newspaper crumbling in your hands is all still hearable, yes. But for how long? As your eyes don't pick up any light, you start feeling lost, as you start to notice your senses are dropping one by one. First your sight has disappeared. Now you no longer smell your cats. You still hear them meowing at your feet. At your feet, you don't feel them. Where have my cats gone? It's almost like you're drifting. And then you stop hearing them, as all noise, the car alarm, the cats, the rustling of the wind, the explosions, the sirens of firefighters are all disappearing. As you are trapped there with no feeling in your skin, no sense of touch. You know where your legs and arms are in space, and you can hear your breathing. In and out. But that too disappears as you lose your feeling, your sense of self, as you no longer know where your hand is proportionate to your face. You might have been touching your face, but you wouldn't be able to tell. As you are trapped in utter darkness, with your own breathing. In and out. But that does not last long either, as that too disappears, and you don't know how long it's been. As you inhale for the one last time, to never hear it again, as even the sound has stopped and you are just trapped with your own thoughts and nothing more. As you keep track of your thoughts, at some point you started counting. First seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 842, 843, 844. 1,005,000,000,005 feet. As you lose count of seconds, you go over the minutes. Minutes turn into hours. Hours turn into days. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. You lose count every now and then as your mind drifts off for different things, longing for concepts you once knew. Like a cat. Describe me a cat. You think of fur, but you can't quite place what fur would be. Would it be tiny little strands of grass? Or what's grass? It grows on earth. Earth. What is earth? What is that ringing? As your thoughts wander from one to each other, but you can't quite sketch it. As you picture a monstrosity, a somewhat feline monstrosity, it has teeth, a mouth in its neck. It has many, many things that we would consider oddities, but to you, these are normal. These are things that your mind can grasp as we continue counting. Decades turn into millennia. As you pant for what felt eons, your count has reached a number our minds no longer comprehend. As you try to picture another concept you once knew. A child. What's a child? Is it a tiny thing? Is it a big thing? What's a smile? It was wearing a smile while it handed you that cursed omen. As you try to picture yourself, what is a self, what is me, what is a human, what is me, what am I, what have I become, what were I don't know. Your mind broken, faltering, and no longer working as it was. And then a ringing hits you. A flash. Like a flashbang of sound, light, feeling, touch. As you blink eyes. You've got eyes. What are eyes? Doesn't matter, you can see. What do you see? Absolutely nothing, 'cause light hurts. But only for so long. As your eyes adjust and you seem to be sitting in a living room. Not so dissimilar from your own, but it feels weird. Very weird. You try to look down at yourselves, but you can't make sense of yourself. You don't know what you look like after all. As you are trying to figure out whatever is going on, you start hearing a noise. A loud ringing noise that is slowly filtering out. And you can only formulate it as "Hello, you're awake." Hello, Charles.